Hi, everybody. Welcome to the D. Louise Book Series channel. I'm Christina, Kristinadeleuse. Today we're talking about J.D. Robb or Nora Roberts' Judgment and Death. Now, this is a significant book in this series, not for, we had our character growth in the last book in Witness. This is, we're going to learn about Rourke's past. But first, let me start that Eve is a lieutenant in the New York Police and Security Department in New York, and in her head, she's a cop. She's not Rourke's wife. She's not married to the richest guy in the world. She doesn't want nothing about his money, and he always has an issue with that because in the olden days, you always had to have a couple quarters in your pocket for the old phone booth. Have you heard of one of those things? The phone booth. Really, seriously, the phone booth. And Rourke has issues with that if she doesn't have a couple dollars in her pocket in case of emergency or whatever. And Eve she doesn't want to take his money at all. She can live in his house and eat his food and stuff like that. But once she leaves the house, she's a cop again. That's her sole identity. Eve grew up alone. She grew in the foster system. She never experienced the holidays or birthdays or any occasions like that. And we'll have some fun with Valentine's Day and Christmas and stuff in future books. But and her obsession with chocolate and Rourke's real coffee. She always says that's why she married him, for the coffee. And the mystery of the candy thief will continue throughout the whole series. But so we've got Judgment and Death, and this is where some of Rourke's not early beginnings, because we did that in one of the other books with Marlena and Somerset. So this is his early business dealings in New York. And it causes conflict between Eve and Rourke. Now let me see if I can find this. Lieutenant, he said in a voice so mild it might have fooled another. What? Do you honestly expect me to do nothing? She set her glass down. It wasn't the time for wine. Yes. You're not a stupid woman. Your instincts and intellect are two of the things I admire most about you. Don't do this, Rourke. Don't make this personal. His eyes flashed a hard glint of blue steel. It is personal. Okay, no. She could handle it. She had to, and leaned forward toward him. It's not unless you let him string you. He wants it to be. Wants you to make it personal so he can fuck with you, Rourke. You're not a stupid man. Your instincts and intellect are two of the things I admire most about you. For the first time in more than an hour, his lips curved in a hint of a smile. Well done, Eve. He can't hurt me. Seeing her opening, all but diving through it, she shifted onto her knees, put her hands on the shoulders. Unless you let him, he can hurt me through you. Don't let him do that. Don't let him play games. The big, huge bad guy. And then the fight continues through the book, and then Eve goes to Mavis and asks Mavis for advice on how to fix it. And then we find out, or I think we knew this, that Webster had a crush on Eve. And I prefer that you take your hands off my wife before I break them, Rourke said from the doorway. But either way works for me. The voice was rigidly pleasant and didn't fool Eve for an instant. She knew the sound of savagery when she heard it. However elegantly it was cloaked, just as she recognized in the frigid blue of Rourke's eyes. Webster and I were in the middle of a meeting and a professional disagreement. I don't think so. Go and find something to do, Eve, elsewhere. Insult worked hard to kick fear aside but didn't manage the job. She felt her muscles begin to tremble and had an image of capping off the evening by arresting her husband for murder. Yeah, gotta love it. And one. I don't remember where mine is at. Oh. Eve, once again, I think this is the second time, I think she did it early. Rourke's in a meeting at the moment and can't be disturbed. Is there anything I can do? Is he back there? Yes, but oh, Lieutenant. She scrambled up from her post as Eve marched past her. Please, you really can't. Watch me. It's an extremely important meeting. The receptionist whisked her very attractive face by throwing herself into Eve's path. If you could just wait possibly 10 minutes, they should be breaking for the lunch portion shortly. Perhaps I can get you some coffee. A pastry? Eve gave her a considering look. What's your name? I'm Lorene, Lieutenant. Well, Lorene, I don't want coffee or pastry, but thanks. I'll be sure to tell Rourke you tried. Now move. But I tried really hard, Eve added, then simply shouldered Lorene aside and yanked open the door. You gotta love it. Oh. Then Rourke decides to assist Eve with the situation. And instead of going to Eve and presenting his situation, he goes to Commander Whitney and Tibble. He goes over her head. And that really, really hurts Eve's feelings, pride, the whole 9 yards. So we got to deal with that situation. And Webster gets hurt. Spoiler. But he'll live. Spoiler. But the situation between Eve and Rourke will hit its volcano-ness, and they have to work through that, and it's interesting how they do it, and it shows the complexity of their marriage, that they can work through this. And Eve, it will happen again in a later book, and it'll be much more difficult for Rourke to let go. But in this instance, his idea is a good one, and all the parties involved agree it's a good idea. And Eve goes through with it, and the murder thing is solved. But it brings a little tension to their marriage and gives them stuff to work through, and they work through it in this book. There are future books where it's a little bit harder to get through some of it for Rourke. But this is a little bit of a serial killer type situation, but it's with a reason, with a specific reason, because somebody was working undercover and the cover worked too well. So definitely please check this out. It's a really good book. It's a really good series. I'm a series person. If I haven't said that a million times. You binge watch a show, you're a series. If you watch General Hospital, One Life to Live, Days of Our Lives, In the Olden Days, Another World. I'm being paged in. But thank you. Please like and subscribe. It's really important. I'm not fancy like those other peeps. But thank you. Have a nice day.